What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another of my videos, and in today's video we're going to be looking at every single troop in the clan capital, and I'm going to give you tips and tricks for every single one. Okay guys, so we have 15 troops to get done in this video, so I'm going to start right away. So we're going to first start out with the Raged Barbarian. The best use case for this troop is to just expand your deployment area, making it easier for other troops to get closer to the defenses when placed. Other than that, there's not really much I need to say about this troop. It's just alright. Next up, we have the Sneaky Archers. This troop is very good for sniping off low HP buildings on the outside of the base. However, they don't have the most DPS, so they won't be able to take out the toughest defenses. Rocket Loons is just way better option for 15 housing space in my opinion. Next up, we have Super Giants. These guys are great for a low housing space tank. If you're ever approaching defenses that do a lot of damage quickly but are only single targeting, such as Infernos or cannons, Giants are a great choice because you can bring a lot of them while tanking for your damage dealers. They also do a lot of damage to walls, which is a great perk. However, if you are going into an area with a lot of splash damage, they aren't the best option. Next up, we have Battle Rams. One of the few troops in the clan capital that has been nerfed, I think, a couple times by now. Battle Rams are the best troop for opening walls and spawning a swarm of troops if you have enough of them. Yes, I think Battle Rams are a better swarm troop than Skeleton Barrels. Barbarians have a decent amount of hit points, so pairing Battle Rams with graveyard spells can really wreck some bases up. The Barbarians also won't die to small traps, making him a good option for distracting defenses. Now our first air troop, Minion Horde. Honestly, there's not much I need to say about this troop. It's just a good troop for cleaning air attacks. They also can expand deployment areas if there's a lot of ground defenses and you can't really use a Raged Barbarian to clean out the outside. I guess they can be good in that situation. But I mean, other than that, guys, are just a pretty mediocre cleanup troop. Next up are Super Wizards, our first big damage dealer on this list. Super Wizards are rather fragile, but if they can be behind an effective tank, they can do a crap ton of damage with their chaining attacks. Just make sure to watch out for traps and splash damage. Okay guys, finally we have our first strong air troop, the Rocket Balloons. In my personal opinion, this is the best troop in all of Clan Capital. They can snipe off defenses, pair insanely well with graveyard spells, and have a ridiculous amount of damage output. For only 15 housing space, you get a good hit pointed troop, insane damage output, and ridiculously good swarm troop. Only disadvantage is they are pretty slow after the haste wears off. And I mean, they don't have the most HP. I mean, it's good enough for me. They do a lot of damage. But I can't understand why this might not work for some people. They only really work really well with graveyard spells. Other than that, you need a tank for them. Oh boy, this next one's depressing. I'm just gonna say something right here, guys. After a good one, there's always a bad one. That's pretty stupid, but who cares? Skeleton Barrels, the worst troop in the clan capital. It's not even close. Like it's not even close. It's a swarm air troop, but the thing is, there's so many better options. Like the skeletons themselves have such little hit points. Traps just destroy them. And the only time this troop is somewhat useful is if you're fighting a bunch of single targeting defenses, like cannon, spear throwers, I guess single infernos, but even single infernos do quite enough. I know some people find them really fun to use. I mean, I guess it is kind of satisfying seeing them drop, but if we're really talking about how strong the troop is, it's mediocre. It's not good at all. Next up is the Flying Fortress, a very good no-skill troop. To be honest, this troop is really strong considering all the skeletons that come out flying out of the fortress. And with a rage, it can do quite a lot of damage. I mean, to be honest, there's not much more to say about this troop, but just make sure you watch out for those single infernos and you'll be good. Okay, next up we have raid cards, a pretty good substitute for Super Wizards if you're about to go into a main area with splash damage. They do good damage, the Barbarians are a good touch that adds to your main army. And yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good damage dealer. Next up is the Power P.E.K.K.A. And I do think this is the best ground take in the game for Clan Capital, as long as you're not going into single furnace. That's just a huge weakness of this troop. Just a huge amount of health. The overcharge ability is awesome, and it does a crap ton of damage with every single hit it does. It's definitely one of the best ground troops in Clan Capital, and if I had to use a tank to bring into a district, I would bring this guy because good damage, crazy amount of health and a great ability. Giants are also a pretty good substitute, but I would do this in the end. Okay guys, next up is the Hog Raiders. I think this is the best ground troop in the clan capital. These again work really well as a swarm troop and are paired really well with graveyard spells and heal spells. Those two spells with this troop is just unbelievably good. You can wreck so many bases in just 2 hits. Both of these spells keep the hogs alive longer, which helps a ton, especially when you use a bunch of these, because when you use a lot of them, they basically are a swarm attack. Their use is basically the same as rocket loons, except you can't really snipe off defenses. But I mean, for ground troops, guys, it doesn't get much better than this. Next up, Super Dragons. To be honest, I don't use this troop much, so I can't really say much about it. I mean, I guess they pair pretty well with the Flying Fortress, but if I'm gonna be honest, it's just not worth 40 housing space. I mean, to be honest, I probably wouldn't even take them for 30. 2 rocket loon packs are just way better. I think they should at least make this maybe 25 housing space, and that might make it an actual good troop. But as of right now, the roast doesn't really do much. The roast mechanic, it only splashes if defenses are really close together, and usually in the clan capital, defenses are not right next to each other. They're usually a little spaced out for traps. So in my opinion, it's just a mediocre air troop. Okay guys, now the most controversial troop in all of clan capital, I think we can all agree on this one, is the mountain golem. I mean, it's alright. It's a little too slow for my liking, because usually by the time it gets to a defense, it's already taken a lot of hits, either to make it have more health or make it move faster. I mean, to be honest, it's not really a great troop. I wouldn't use it. 160 housing space, that's quite a lot of housing space. You can use a lot of better stuff that will get a lot more value. Okay guys, last but not least is the Inferno Dragon. The Inferno Dragon is great for taking out high HP troops and buildings. They just need to be tanked by some sort of air tank. And also in Dragon Cliffs, they absolutely demolish the dragons. So that's always a plus. I think they're honestly one of the better air troops in clan capital. They really can get stuff done. Again, they're just rather fragile. Make sure they're protected by something. Okay guys, well that's it for this video. I know it's kind of a short one. I wanted to keep it short because I wanted to make sure I could just get through every troop. I feel like my descriptions in this video were quick, but also informative. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.